Spoiler alert for a series that ended like 20 years ago. Oh, speaking of which, we will be talking about this movie. There will be spoilers because we're going to be discussing the movie. Watch the movie first, then come back.
Yeah. Agreed. Watch the movie first. Also, I guess just to add to that, Death Note obviously deals with some, like, I guess, sensitive content. So if that at all is an issue for you. Ba-ba-da-ba-da! Welcome back, freaks and geeks. You're at Road to Waifu. And we're going to talk about Death Note today, but the
Are you?
live action.
Wait, don't insult the audience.
Who insulted the audience?
Yeah, fair enough. Anyway,
Uh,
not that live action. We're talking about the actual live action. There's a really bad live action that's famous by Netflix. We're not talking about that one. We're talking about the one from 2006.
Although, if you want us to talk about the Netflix live action, let us know in the comments
I
below.
don't want to.
Hey, man, it's for the fans.
Fans, we don't even have double-digit subscribers.
It's for the Death Note fans. And we do have double-digit subscribers. Thank you, everyone who subscribes.
Yeah, okay. We managed 10, Morgan.
I don't know. I checked this morning. It's like at 13.
And we just lost 4. Thank you. Come again.
Anyway, so we're gonna talk about the 2006 Death Note live action movie. So, yeah, I guess we'll start at the beginning. So the movie starts
It's
with
kind
a
of superhero
hook.
style. It's superhero style. You see what's happening midway through their journey, and then it goes back to their origin story.
Yeah. Let's talk about it because
Oh
I
no.
hate hooks.
Listen, this is more general audience, okay?
I
They're
mean,
trying.
like,
The
you
whole
guys
point
let
of a
me.
live action. The whole point of a live action is to bring in non-anime fans. So it's like you gotta regular movies.
Yeah.
The crowd doesn't isn't as patient as anime fans.
I mean,
Anime
like,
fans will anime fans will watch 4 seasons of garbage to get to a good season. Like
that
that's the
might
type
be
of
a
people we're working with.
that might be a little bit of an overstatement, but drop in the comments if you guys
Stop,
enjoyed the
stop,
hook.
stop. It most people haven't watched this. Okay, like you never heard about this until I told you about it.
I think no, I
The
actually
the, the
now
live
okay
action
now
movie.
now you've got me wondering like how well this movie did.
Well, for one, I pulled it up. So it topped the Japanese box office for 2 weeks, and it pushed the Da Vinci Code into second place during that time.
It has
So
yeah,
it beat Tom Hanks.
it has a
However,
7.5 on Rotten Tomatoes.
sure, but like in terms of overall like general audience, most people know about the live action Death Note, not
You
this
mean the
one.
Netflix one?
Yeah, that piece of garbage.
I mean, they're both live
Yeah,
action, so you can't just say the live
you're right.
action Death Note
You're
and
right. You're right.
expect
You're
people to know
right.
what
You're
you're
right.
talking
You're
about.
right. You're right. The Netflix live action garbage.
Yeah. Well, but I think that overall the movie was pretty successful. Like it has pretty good ratings on Rotten Tomatoes, on IMDb. You said it pushed out the Da Vinci Code, so and that was a pretty popular movie too. Um, for all of for all of its faults, it was a very popular film when it came out. So I think that people have heard of it. I think that people have seen it. So it starts with a hook where we see Light is already reshaping the world as we know it in his ideal fashion, like how he thinks the world should be, eliminating criminals. And then we skip back to not when he gets the Death Note, which is kind of a problem that I have. We don't actually, we see very briefly towards the middle of the movie how he acquires the Death Note. And it's kind of stupid, in my opinion.
It's just it. You start with the hook so you can lead people in with a slow process. It's a slow burn.
Yeah, may kind of, I guess. But I guess that's neither here nor there. My biggest issue with the hook is that Light takes the notebook out in public. And this is like the first time that we see him with the book. with the Notebook, and that never happened. And I went back and I was looking through the manga and I was like, does Light ever take the Notebook out in public? And the only time he takes it out in public is like way in towards the end, like I guess not towards the end, but towards the end that matters, which is like when L dies. That's the only time we actually see the Notebook out in public. All the
Spoiler
other
alert for a series that ended like 20 years ago. Oh, speaking of which, we will be talking about this movie. There will be spoilers because we're going to be discussing the movie. Do go watch it. I think it's a great experience. There's a lot of really fun things about the movie, and it does. If you remember watching Death Note, it takes a different pathway to the end than the original series does. It's
which
a
we'll be
completely
talking about.
different. It's a different universe. This is your warning for this video. We'll probably do another warning for the next one that when we talk about the second one, but letting you know now, you should watch it. Ignore us, close the videos, like unsubscribe, dislike, do anything you want.
What are you talking about?
Watch the movie first, then come back.
Yeah. Agreed. Watch the movie first. Also, I guess just to add to that, Death Note obviously deals with some, like, I guess, sensitive content. So if that at all is an issue for you, go somewhere else.
Yeah, unsubscribe. Thanks. We're not gonna censor ourselves. We only have 4 subscribers anyway.
The number just keeps going lower and lower. Um,
I'm
so
aiming to get the negatives, man.
So, yeah, so he never takes the book out in public. There are scenes where he covertly has pages of the note, but it wouldn't be discernible as the actual Death Note. So
All right,
I
so
had a problem with that.
should we just get into the bulk of this now that the whole spoiler warning's done? Because let's talk about Light and how dumb he is compared to the regular version. Like this Light is
Yeah.
dumb. Like there's no
Yeah.
denying he's smart, but he's more paranoid than anything. He's more like paranoid than like intelligent.
Yeah, so I do think that his portrayal in the movies was an interesting choice because he is much more calculated in the original manga. And I don't know. I also don't really like how they made L on the flip like way more cunning.
It's like it's like for L, because this is sort of going into the second one. He just magically knows the next thing to attack Light about.
Yeah,
Instead of because of the pacing of the movie, it's like because it's the same result of the manga, but we'll probably talk about this more in the second when we discuss the second film specifically. But he literally says what Light is thinking or thinking
yeah.
that he should try to avoid doing. Like it's actually kind of funny how omniscient L is in this one.
It's it is I mean like I definitely chuckled a couple of times, but it is also a little bit annoying because you miss out a little bit on the internal back and forth. Like one of my favorite parts about the manga is the tennis match between Light and L. And not only did we not get a tennis match in the movies, but that tennis match lets you into what they're thinking and how they could be like, well, is this like gonna be this way, but if I do it this way then he's gonna think it's that. And then on the flip side L is like, well, but if I do this then he's gonna be, and there's this back and forth internally for them where they're trying to think out how their moves are going to be perceived by the other person and how they should make their next move. And you just miss all of that because L is weirdly omniscient.
Look, L has always been smart, but he's not reading minds smart.
I agree. I think that I tune in to our next episode to find out our thoughts about how the second movie ends. But let's stay focused on the first movie, which doesn't feature L as heavily. So, one of the biggest changes about the movie that they make from the manga is that Light has a girlfriend. And we
But
start off
also,
getting introduced to his girlfriend.
but also don't forget, this Light is in college versus the original Light is starts off as a high schooler.
Yeah, this is true. I don't think that it matters all that much.
I think it matters only with regard to like potential emotional intelligence because a lot of Light's early mistakes can be attributed to him just being kind of a hot-headed teenager in high school.
I think
Like
that if you think people dramatically change from high school to college, because we're not talking about like a
we're not I'm not talking about like freshman year of college. One of the beginning scenes is that he successfully passed, I think, a practical bar exam. So he's far along in college years, at least. So he's been.
It's not ever specified how far along in college he is, but if we the reason that I don't think it matters is because even in the best of circumstances, if you were going to compare like freshman in high school to a senior in college, I have to be honest, I don't think the emotional growth is actually going to be all that much. Like, even under the best of circumstances, if you were comparing a high school freshman to a senior in college. My personal opinion, don't think it matters that much. I think that you really start to mature post college. And, a lot of people point to that dumb study that says that your brain doesn't fully develop until the age of 25. Bullshit study to start off, but I do think that it's to some degree fair. I don't think there's a lot of difference between a college student and a high school student, and that's evident if you've ever been to a frat party.
Our audience doesn't go to frat parties. It's fine. Whatever. Anyway, moving on.
So I
But
don't think it matters, but we are introduced to Light's girlfriend Shiori, which I do think matters because this fundamentally changes Light's character. In the manga, Light is a sociopath.
what? Really now?
Which he has a
Um,
girlfriend in the movie, so he's not a sociopath, but there's more of an argument that he has some emotional grounding.
did he not have a college girlfriend? I thought he did.
So in the manga, there are people that he gets involved with, but he does that purely to either throw somebody off or to appear to be normal. It's psychopathic. It's sociopathic and psychopathic.
Yikes. At least in this one, he seems to sort of care. Maybe we don't
I
get the thing we don't get is internal monologue as
Right.
much as we used to. At least
Right.
in terms of the manga and the anime. So, oh, fun fact about the live action. So apparently, there's an English dub that exists with the English dub voice actors reprising their roles. So that's a little fun.
Wait, say that again? Wait, there's a what?
There's an English dub of this movie where
Uh-huh.
the voice actors from the anime reprise their roles. So that's kind of fun.
Oh, that's interesting.
Mhm.
I didn't
Which is
watch.
admittedly the best way of approaching that. It's sort of like the One Piece live action where the Japanese dub uses the One Piece voice actors.
Interesting. I didn't even know
I
that
think.
that existed. So that's cool. I mean, I didn't watch the anime dubbed because, as we've discussed in a previous episode, I'm a purist and I watched the subbed. But if you watched the dubbed, perhaps you will like the live action dub. And we're also talking about the English dub. I don't know if we have any international viewers. We're talking about the
No,
English dub.
there's no way in hell we have international viewers.
You never know. YouTube's got a reach. YouTube distributes to whoever will watch.
Why would they
Um,
waste time on us? Anyway,
okay. Hurting the viewership, Eric. You're hurting the
I don't
viewership.
care. Um, but Light is played by Tatsuya Fujiwara. I knew him from watching Battle Royale.
Yeah.
Just
Battle
he
Royale, though, also great movie. Go watch it. It's the better
better
version of
movie,
Hunger Games.
better movie than this, admittedly. So if you're short on time, go watch that instead.
Sure. I don't remember his specific performance in it,
He's the
but
main character.
Yeah, but I don't remember his specific performance.
Okay.
It's been a while since I've seen the movie. That movie, what year is that movie? That's like 19 something, isn't it?
No, it's 2000. New Millennia movie.
Was that a remake then? Because didn't Battle Royale come out in the 80s?
I don't think so.
I thought so. Now I gotta fact check myself. Or maybe we're thinking about different movies.
We've watched this together. It's based off on a 1999 novel of the same name, so there's definitely not a way of there being an earlier one.
So on the 90. Yeah, this is it. What am I thinking of that came out in the 80s then? It'll come to me. Maybe. But yeah, so definitely better movie. If you are strapped for time, like Eric said, go watch that. But in the meantime, so I don't even know where I was in my notes. Um, so we have,
Speaking
so we have.
of speaking of actors, everyone is so pretty in this movie. Like everyone's so damn attractive, except Ryuk.
Ryuk's not
Ryuk
even
has
real.
not aged. He's not aged well though.
I
I remember
mean,
him looking a lot better when I was younger.
well,
Watching in the scope of today, I
here's the
will
thing. Here's
say,
the thing. My thought when I saw, because I hadn't seen it, I didn't. This was the first time I had seen this live action, and I definitely had like a laugh out loud moment the first time he was on screen. And then I was looking at it a little bit more closely, and it feels like video game CGI, Ryuk.
absolutely does.
It doesn't feel like film CGI, which I don't know that it makes a huge difference because I think it's a difference of like rendering technique, but it so felt like he was like a sticker that they put into the film, into the movie. So, yeah, it was. I mean, okay, here's the thing. Overall, I think that this was a good adaptation. I think that we can poke fun at specific elements, like the fact that Light has a girlfriend and that Ryuk literally looks like he was copy and pasted into the film. But overall, I thought it was a good adaptation.
One of my notes was for the bus scene when the criminal sees Ryuk. One of my notes is I'd be scared too seeing that in person.
I mean, fair. I there's a lot of things that if it happened to you, I think that it's reasonable. But okay, so but so you bring up how somebody would react, and one thing that I did think, which in the manga they kind of do this too, so it's hard to be too critical, but the overacting, especially when
Yeah.
somebody gets a heart attack and dies.
Dude, the
The-
shaky cam and the zoom in, it is
yeah,
rough. Not the
it's
shaky cam. It
so
looks like Star Trek.
I was like, I just wanted to be like, did the director not at any point be like, guys, just a notch down, just a
No,
notch down?
he probably told him to notch it up.
Yeah, I know. It's just they also, I do want to say, Watari was cast really well, like
Oh yeah.
almost perfectly.
The only complaint, which honestly isn't a complaint, is that he's not also because what Watari is very old. I only wish he was also buff. That's just a personal preference.
Why?
I don't know the Master Roshi effect.
The thing is though, like Master Roshi doesn't appear to be buff, so
Okay, Genryu Sai then.
okay. I mean, like I like him just the way he is. I think he's perfect the way that he
It's a good
is.
it's a good casting. This is just like a minor thing of I like it when old men are buff.
All right, now that we know what Eric's fetish is, let's move right along. I thought that the pacing was a little bit off, but it does hit all of the important story beats. So, the main story beats of he gets the death note, he has his run in with the police. The police almost figure out like the identity, so to speak, of Kira. So he changes his tactics, and then L gets like involved, and like they hit all the major story beats. You know, the FBI investigation, Pember, you know, all that kind of stuff that leads up to Naomi. So they do get all of
So
those beats.
since you reread the manga, I needed to ask: is he as vindictive and like rushed as he is in the movie? So, for example, him writing the fake L's name in the Death Note and killing him in the movie, he seemed really vindictive about it. Was it the same in the manga?
Towards the end, yeah. I mean, towards the end,
No, but like
Light.
at the beginning when Light is putting the fake L's name in the Death Note, when they took an American prisoner
Light.
on Death Row.
Oh, you mean Lindell Taylor?
Yes, Lindell Taylor.
Um, I wouldn't describe what happens in the manga as vindictive so much as triumphant. Like he's
Hmm.
very, I'll show you who is boss. And he writes it, you know, and then the whole thing unfolds that it's not really L, and then he has to recalibrate. It takes him by surprise, but I don't know that I would necessarily classify it as vindictive.
Gotcha. Because when watching the movie, it really felt personal when Light puts that Lindell Taylor's name in the Death Note.
I don't get that feeling. I think
Hmm.
that that's somewhat of personal interpretation. So I didn't feel that way because the thing is, early on, and I don't know how anybody else experienced Death Note, but for me, early on, I feel like you can identify with L because L's whole thing is I'm going to make a better world by getting rid of all of the bad people. So early on, I feel like you can identify very easily with him. So when he does that, there's somewhat of a conflict of interest between do I continue to root for Light or is this over the line? And that moment I think will be interpreted differently by different people.
And I mean, the whole point of Lynn D. Taylor, is that
Oh, it's L.
Light's.
It's Lind L.
Oh,
Taylor.
L. Okay, it is Lynn L. Taylor. The whole issue with that whole sequence is that it kind of shows that his moral compass is broken. He's not only killing criminals as soon as he writes his name in.
Well, I think that you can argue it both ways, is the thing. And that's what's so great about Death Note as a whole, is it is sort of morally gray. It rides the line
Oh,
because,
absolutely.
you know, if somebody is after you, one can argue that that is self-defense. You know, it's one of those areas that is not, it really comes down to a judge's interpretation. And had he killed a lot of people up to that point? Yep. But is it self-preservation? Also, yep.
I'm just giving you this think eye. All right. Um, because in the manga was the whole swap to uh, a kill every hour as pronounced, because it was literally, oh, we discovered that it might be a university student. He immediately swaps to an hour basis the next day just to
So
mess with them.
this is an interesting difference. In the live action, that is an effort to throw them off. And Light panics. He appears to panic a little bit in the live action movie. But in the manga, it is a concerted effort to send a message. Like his intention is, I'm not afraid of you. I can kill whenever I want. And it's not like he thinks that he's going to throw the police off his trail. It's more a statement of defiance.
Gotcha. Because at least interpreting from the movie and just using the movie in a just vacuum, it seemed like, oh, they're on to me. I must just swap immediately and not like give it a day or two.
No, it's it well in the live action, absolutely. That's exactly how it plays out. And again, this is this is sort of, to some degree, I feel like there's a character assassination going on Light's character, because in the manga he's so much more calculated. It makes so much more sense how we get to the end, and I classify the end as L's death because everything after L's death is stupid. But everything up to that point is very calculated, and I just don't like how, and I really think that it's because they introduced Shiori. I think Shiori fucks up the whole thing because it makes him more of a absent-minded teenager than a calculated genius. And he is supposed to be a genius. Something that they don't talk about in the live action is he scores not only top in his class, but he scores number 1 in the nation. He is a certified genius.
Meanwhile, this Light is a certified human.
I mean, like, I think people will take it with what they will. I actually think that the addition of Shiori just screws up his character and ultimately doesn't humanize him because, and we're skipping to the end of the first movie here, he 100% just uses her at the end of the movie with no remorse. So, did it humanize him? I would disagree.
Yeah, I don't think the point of Shiori is to humanize him. If anything, it makes him look like more of a sociopath, but like he was in a relationship before the Death Note. It's just post
Here's
Death Note.
Here's the thing that I think is overlooked in the live action, and part of it is probably because they did so much changing to the plot, but in the manga, you see a little bit of how Light is before he gets the Death Note. Then he gets the Death Note. Then there's the arc where he forgets the Death Note because that's all part of his like grandmaster plan. And during that period when he forgets about the Death Note, you see him how he is without the Death Note. And my personal interpretation, and I feel like people are going to get in the comments and heavily disagree with me, but my personal interpretation is that the Death Note does change Light. Whether that's supernaturally because of the supernatural nature of the Death Note, or if it's because of the power that he gets from the Death Note, it does change him.
Well,
And
one of the recurring themes is that power corrupts in this series. Like
yeah, absolute power corrupts absolutely. I agree.
it's
And
cliche, but it's true.
I think that you miss that in the live action because he does have a girlfriend and we don't really see before if he cares about his girlfriend at all. She's just sort of there.
Can we talk about how he's kind of a gremlin for that first kill? Like this dude is stalking a
Oh,
crim. He's stalking a
yes.
criminal at a diner, overhearing his conversation, following it, and writing his name in a magic book that he's not even sure will work. Like he's kind of a gremlin here.
Yeah.
Like, dude,
There's a
don't you have anything better to do on a Tuesday?
I mean, there's a lot of things that for time, as you had mentioned, they kind of have to skip over. So
Oh, the
that's
potato chip scene. It's so sad. It's like one of my favorite scenes of Death Note, and it's so
I
sad in
agree.
this one.
I agree. There's that. There's they kind of skip over the police honing in on the fact that he's a student and him recalibrating. You kind of just skip over all of that. I wanted to ask you what your theories are about the potato chip scene specifically because I have this thought every time it comes up, which is how did he get the piece of the Death Note and the camera inside a sealed bag of chips? Now, the only thing that I can think of is he just opened it at the store and then resealed the bag. But my issue with that theory is that you can usually tell when something is resealed like that.
I mean, this is the early 2000s. It's not like if you look at surveillance cam footage now, it's kind of blurry, and it's something we do lose in anime. I don't think you could theoretically make out that much fine detail. In theory, you could maybe use a hairdryer to reseal it right. Light could probably figure it out. That's my best theory right now. Or not hair dryer. Hair iron,
Curler or
curler,
curler iron,
curler.
yeah.
To theoretically seal it shut. It's just the ridiculousness of my bigger issue with it is that any of the chips were not crumbled by that small TV. Like I opened a bag
There's
of chips. I open a bag of chips and I get nothing but fucking crumbs nowadays. Okay, like this is a genuine concern of mine.
I mean, like, I agree with most of
Those
what you're
chips were
saying.
pristine. Okay,
My issue isn't so much of like um going back. My issue is that that bag of chips sat in a cupboard. And you want me to believe that his mom or his sister wouldn't have seen an effed up bag of chips and been like, "What's up with this bag of chips?" Like,
and then
that's what I mean. Like, the only way to get that camera in the
there's
bag.
also the weird physics of holding up a bag of chips with the weight of a small TV in it. You're not gonna hold it normally.
Yeah, I mean, like, there's just a lot about it that just that scene always pissed me off because I was like, this
My
is
guy,
brilliant.
you're arguing about chip physics in a series about killing people by writing their name.
I just always had a problem with it because I'm like, this is.
You're fixating on the wrong thing.
I disagree. I'm gonna die on this hill because also in the manga we find out how much he paid for that little TV. Do you know how much he paid for that little TV?
What, 5,000 yen?
It was 3,500 yen, which in American dollars is apparently like $350 or $300 or something like that.
No, it's
Uh,
not. 3,500 or 35,000.
it might have been third. I know that the US dollar equivalent was somewhere between 300 and 350. So whatever
Okay, so it
the
would be 35,000 then.
Okay, so whatever the yen equivalent of that is, that's how much he paid for it. And he literally uses it once and tosses it. Nobody has a problem with that.
I'm gonna be honest. We have other issues to deal with this guy. Like him throwing away money, if anything, seems more normal than not.
I guess. It was just something that very much bothered me. I don't know how he got the thing in the bag of chips. I also played around with the idea of him like having asked Ryuk, because Ryuk can phase through stuff, you know? So could he have done that with the camera? But or with the TV. But then you also have to like, how did he convince Ryuk to do that? Did he just bribe him with more apples? Which brings me to another thing that is embellished in both the live action and the anime. The apple thing, not that big a deal in the manga. I didn't realize that it's really not that big a deal.
Do Shinigami poop? I mean, if they're eating, right?
And now we have completely lost the plot.
Anyway, I mean, the apple thing's just the apple thing. Like, it's just like a short line, basically. It's not like an emphasized thing.
No, in the anime, it was like a big thing.
Was it?
The live
Okay.
action, it didn't have as much, but in the anime, they like really go hard on the Apple thing. And in in the manga, there isn't even like a scene or a panel where Ryuk is talking about how much he likes apples. You do get the apple withdrawal when Light gets locked up in confinement. But other than that, it's very kind of understated in the manga.
Okay, this is that a intentional choice by the anime to extend time? Because let's be honest, the series is about a dude inner monologuing against another dude who's inner monologuing. Is it just like a
It
sake
could
of
be.
filling airtime, perhaps, where
It could
it's like,
be.
oh, the Apple thing. Let's do that. Meanwhile,
I
in this
did
movie, we deal with CGI bullets.
I did enjoy the Apple thing. I'm not necessarily shitting on the Apple thing. I just didn't realize how much they embellished it in the anime and subsequently in the live action. It's really not that big a thing. Maybe people have different opinions of that too, but I didn't think it was all that big a deal in the manga, and it gets kind of blown out of proportion. But yeah.
Oh, sorry. The bigger issue is that he connects a laptop on the subway in 2006. I'm sorry. You can barely get a signal in subways now.
I I actually didn't think about that because like my bigger thing was like how were they really communicating? Because he has that transmitter thing, and I guess his walkie-talkie technology.
Also,
That's astute though.
this walkie-talkie technology is so advanced. His voice comes out so clear, and he's literally just like a foot away, and no one notices this weird, creepy dude talking in a hoodie into a freaking heads
Okay, wait. You'll have to
headset.
remind me how it happens in the movie because in the manga he's in the next car standing by the
He
door.
he is in the next car still, standing by the door, but it's like just the, oh, I'm sorry. You know how when you hit a walkie-talkie, it makes a loud ass sound when you stop
Yeah.
when you talk,
Yeah.
and you didn't. It's like perfectly quiet. There's not that loud like notification sound that you're talking, which
Um so this is like decisions that people have to make as the director or the sound designer, which is how true to life can you be without it impacting like the tone of the
Oh no,
movie?
I don't actually have a personal problem with it. It's just a general observation of, this is 2006 technology. It's not that good.
Yeah, I don't disagree with you. My bigger issue is with what you said before, which is like it did not rouse anyone's suspicion because like what he's saying, if you think about what he's saying and you're like sitting behind him on the subway, you know what I mean?
If I recall correctly, the live action does have people in the same subway car as him, and
Yeah,
no one's paying attention to this
nobody
weirdo
says
just talking.
anything. It's pretty wild. Nobody says anything, and this is that meme about Death Note, which is if Light's family were a little bit more attentive, they would have noticed the maniacal laughing and the shouts and the talking to the non-existent Shinigami.
Nah, it's just teenage boy problems. He has an
So,
imaginary friend. Don't blame him, okay? Like he's going through a lot right now.
so yeah, it's there's a lot about it that I think is overlooked, I will say generously.
And I think that's really it. That's Death Note. Does it have a?
Well,
Nope.
so
It's just Death Note.
it's so the ending of the first movie is where it diverges the most and to some degree sets up the second movie, which is in the manga. Naomi does get caught, Light does catch her, but in the manga, he simply instructs her via Death Note to commit suicide. I think it's like 48 hours after writing or within 48 hours of writing the note. But in the movie, it's a whole thing. Shiori gets involved, and they both get shot or whatever. Um, and it's up until that point. Here's the thing, I I was with Eric on the Shiori humanizes Light until the end of the movie. I got to the end of the movie and I was like, wow, okay, so he is a sociopath. He totally just used his girlfriend to off Naomi.
Yeah.
So
When he really didn't need to, because he already had her name in the wedding registry. He could have
that's
just
the
had her get
thing.
hit by a car. He could have
That's
just
the
had her hit by a
thing.
car. But no.
Yeah. Yeah. So also, can we talk about how Naomi uses very illegal means to bait Light in the movie? That definitely happens.
I mean, a lot of what happens in this series is kind of illegal.
I mean, like, but she's supposed to be an ex FBI, and I guess she's ex FBI, so I guess it doesn't really matter. But you're supposed to operate within the bounds of the law.
No, 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 no. You don't need to follow the law. It's okay.
Yeah. So anyway, that is where we leave off in the first Death Note live action 2006. I don't think I have much else to. I mean, I did have one other thought, which was that how L meets Light is so dramatic because they're in that they have that sort of standard face off with the cameras panning around them.
Hmm.
It's so dramatic, and
I thought it was a reference to the opening of the anime.
I appreciated it like just as a nod, but I was like, this is so much right now because Death Note is just two guys having mind battles with each other. It's just
Yeah.
internal monologuing. So it's so. I kind of wanted there to be a voiceover. Is my point? I kind of wanted there
Oh,
to be like,
instead of just the sound of chewing.
yeah, yeah. But that I think concludes my thoughts on
Mm.
Death Note, the first live action. What were your closing thoughts, Eric? Did you have anything specific that stuck out to you at the end of the first
And
movie? Favorite moments?
just, I mean, it's just, it's an interesting movie for the time. If anything, it's probably one of the more solid live actions I've ever watched. That's not a high bar, but it's still a solid live
It's
action.
really not. It's really not a high bar. But I do think that it is a solid adaptation. Because the thing is, you have to keep in mind that it is adapting an anime series, which, typically a first season of an anime is 8 to 12 episodes, sometimes even more. So that's, what is that, like 6 hours, 6-ish hours that you're cutting down to an hour and a half. And I'm so glad that they made reasonable cuts where the narrative still makes sense. I mean, yes, it's going to be a little bit disjointed, but like I said, I think that they hit all the major plot points and that it makes sense that we get to where we get, which is the Naomi murder.
Right. And hopefully you'll join us next time for Death Note: The Last Name. I have a lot more thoughts on that one, and
Yeah,
I'm
that
sure you do
one
too.
that one's crazy. So we'll be tackling that in our next episode. But until then, stay freaky, I guess.
You freaks and geeks, you.
Like, comment, subscribe. We'll see you next week.